My name is Anna Schall. I was born and raised Catholic and went to church regularly with my mom and dad, but I looked at it more as a social get-together, just to see my friends. I always knew it was important, but I didn't look at it that way. I look at it so much differently now after I've gone to Medjugorje. I'm a Croatian American and I live half the year in the United States and half the year in Medjugorje. I first heard about Medjugorje in July 1981 when I was sitting in the kitchen with my mom in Los Angeles, California, and my relatives from Herzegovina called. My mom was relaying everything that they were telling her on the phone, saying, "You'll never believe what's happening here. Our Lady's appearing to some children just 15 minutes away in Medjugorje, and she's been appearing there every night." Well, I remember having a cold sweat and saying to myself, I have to go there. Because I remember I told the Blessed Mother one time in prayer after watching the Song of Bernadette on TV, that if she ever appeared on this earth again, that I would not make fun of her and I would help her and I would want to be with her. I immediately believed in what my cousins were telling me, as they were not the kind to take this news lightly at all. They had to be careful at that time, even calling on the phone, because of the communist government watching and listening to everything. So I thought they were taking a big chance, but that makes it more important for me to go there, I thought. I finally was able to go to Medjugorje November 3rd, 1983, after going on a pilgrimage to Rome for the canonization of Saint Leopold Bogdan Mandic, a Croatian saint. I went with a group from St. Anthony's Croatian Church, which I belong to in downtown LA. After Rome, I asked others if they wanted to go to Medjugorje with me, and they agreed. And I always think of that pilgrimage as the first time I took people on a pilgrimage. I did not know that this was going to be my life's calling, though. I remember it was only me, a little group of people, and one guide, Dragan, standing by Vitska at her house, listening to her give testimony about the early days, although that was still early. The only way to explain the feeling of Medjugorje that first time was being on the edge of heaven and earth. I didn't want to go anywhere else on the rest of that trip. I got to see my relatives, but then Medjugorje is all we talked about because they believed also. After that first trip, I knew I had to go back to Medjugorje, and I wanted others, anyone who would go, I wanted to go to Medjugorje with them. I had this burning desire in my heart to bring the messages of Our Lady to others, because what she wanted us to do is for our own good, for the good of our families and for the entire world. I thought, I have to help Our Lady in this way. I think that's what she's calling me to do. And that's when I found a Medjugorje prayer group that was just beginning at St. James in Redondo Beach. And as a group, we prayed and we sponsored talks at our church so we could spread the message of Medjugorje in that way. That prayer group is still going strong today, but that helped me in the very beginning. I started to bring more and more people to Medjugorje and started telling them all I knew about the time when the apparition started, because I used to ask Vitska's grandmother and her family all little details of those beginning days, and I wanted to know all the stories, and now I relate that to all the pilgrims. Now, being Croatian, whenever a visionary would come to California to speak, they would ask me to go and pick them up, take them to the hotel, set them up at the hotel, take them to the venue where they would speak, and so on. And this is how I got to meet most of the visionaries and was able to record their talks. To this day, we're still good friends. So later in 1995, when I was looking for Medjugorje, when I got my first computer, that was the first thing I searched for, and I found a website, medjugorje.org. And so I went on there and asked the person if he would like me to send him the monthly message and some of the talks that I recorded with those visionaries when they came out. So he said yes. We got to talking, and that's the short story of how I met my husband, Steve. And at this time I said, I think it would be great to do pilgrimages together. I really wanted to share this with more people, and I think this internet thing is going to be bigger. So I had now been on many pilgrimages, and none of them did all the things that I wanted them to do, or took me or told me about the same things. I wanted to put everything in one experience and to talk to people about the old times. So we started our pilgrimages, and first we had 2 a month, then we went to 1 a month. We slowed it down, and that's what we've been doing now since 1995. And this is also how I came to split my time between US and Medjugorje. Now in 1999, Vicka's brother-in-law contacted us about Ivan's prayer group that formed in 1982, and he was in it, and his name was Nejo. He asked us if we could help him with the internet and getting the public messages of Ivan's group to the internet, and to bring Our Lady's messages to more people. So at that time, he started the IIPG, Internet International Prayer Group, Queen of Peace, to talk about Our Lady and her messages. Nejo died on the anniversary of Ivan's prayer group that year, and I ended up running that prayer group along with 3 other moderators now. And the IIPG at that time, which was 60 people, now we have over 4,000 people from all over the world and now on Facebook. Because of Our Lady in Medjugorje changing my life, it has changed the lives of my children and their children. And now I'm in the music ministry at church. I organized Ivan's speaking engagements for several years. I brought my son to Medjugorje, and he ended up being music minister at the English Mass there. And he still sings now when he gets there. He met his Danish wife at the youth festival and now lives in Denmark and sings at the cathedral there. My daughter and her family are involved in her church and in ministries at their parish near San Diego. I now am in Medjugorje, and I help the parish whenever I can, and I'm still with my groups, usually in the summer, and I work at St. James during the youth festival for English-speaking youth to coordinate the opening ceremonies, processions, and closing for the youth festival. I help the nuns over there with all of that. Medjugorje and leading groups there has been my life for the last 40 years. The things I've witnessed, the people that are still good friends from those pilgrimages, the conversions, the healings. I was even given the wonderful opportunity to verify many of the documented healings from the beginning for the English-speaking pilgrims. So I could give an account to the parish, for the process of being approved. And that was so moving. Thanks to God and Our Lady, they have let me lead 400 pilgrimages to Medjugorje and about 10,000 pilgrims of all types. I know that this is a big responsibility in taking people to Medjugorje, and I never took it lightly, never want to take it lightly. I always want to make sure that I've done my best in all those pilgrimages. I remember some pilgrimages, everyone had ADD. One pilgrimage that had all smokers trying to quit. A pilgrimage of drinkers trying to quit drinking. Pilgrimages for deaf people. Non-Christians wanting to learn about Christianity, and humanitarian pilgrimages where we've had groups of youth come to Medjugorje, and we went to different villages around Medjugorje to help the people in need. It was really fantastic, and I never will get tired of it. Really, like Our Lady says, Medjugorje is a school of love, and I want to continue to do this as long as God wants me to. When I get to Medjugorje, there are 3 things I always do. Number 1 is I go to the evening program and start it off with confession after praying to St. Leopold Bogdan Mandic, and so that he helps me with a good confession. Number 2, I pray the rosary going up Apparition Hill. And the third is when I get to the statue, I get on my knees and I say, here I am again, dear Mother. Thank you. I give you everything. I give to you my family. Then I name my family members one by one. And then I name IIPG members and their petitions and their families. And I ask Our Lady to watch over them all. And then I ask her, please, to help me lead all the pilgrims she sends to me the best I can, and in the way she wants me to, and to take care of my family back here in the US while I'm not there. I'm just so thankful for the gift of Medjugorje. I've prayed that I've made a difference in the lives of my pilgrims, and I pray because of this big responsibility that I'm really helping Our Lady in the way that she wants me to do and for as long as she wants me to do it. I never thought my life would be going this way, but I'm so happy that it did, and I really thank Our Lady and Medjugorje. Thank you.